tend to leave up to mind. I don't owe no one, no obligation. No one owes me none, so everything is fine, fine. I said I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Yellow, yellow all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell a ring. If we didn't know, we never know yellow would have treat us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. They began with the blame game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline, but when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place and a few disgruntled green people with their vexed face. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Busy governing, busy managing, busy politicking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada. 1,000 Frenchmen can never be wrong, but you hold your yellow conviction strong. So why not send them advisors home? They're sucking money like water in foam. And rehire the Imanis, less stress on the economy. You and Manchester hold up the country. You didn't see us down by the Bury when they sent SSU to beat we. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, refrain, you nah refrain. So we've heard about your internal division, but some can't digest that one. Remember the man say he's an asset to the party? And will we vote you without him? You left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they're cloned. And however, I foresee a pretensive unity that will mislead a lot just before the next ballot. But you guys will have to come real good, cause it's a long time Grenada ain't eat a food. You think politicians would trick us with campaign promises? We won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain, you now refrain. You remember the...
And a good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Point. My name's Sheldon Scott. I'm here with you, hopefully, until the 10 o'clock hour.
No chicken before the hatch. Politicians sometimes farm it.
Saying a special good night to all of you joining us via the various media.
One note, but here comes food.
And before we go into anything else, we must apologize for last night, even though it was totally out of our control. There was an internet. Yeah, the internet went down in the town of St. George, it seems, because it went down here, it went down at WFM and different locations around town. So that there was an internet outage last night, and that cut the program off. Because, of course, we're doing it via the internet. So that cut the program last night. All right? Yeah, so just letting you know exactly what it is that happened.
Us. And I could never understand the distribution of the wealth. So drink your bush home if you want.
Just trying to follow some developments. I'm hearing of an incident in Guav.
So
one man shot.
November. Suck salt and drink Nawasa water.
I'm hearing that some 6 bullets or so fired at an individual in the town of Guav. One individual shot at least twice. That's the first. I can't give a name. I am not confirming a name. From what I saw from a video that was sent a short while ago, the individual seems to still be alive.
Japanese or Chinese? You better wrap up $1,000 in yellow jerseys for we, or give us everything free as in the days of NNP, or else.
So again, you're hearing of an incident that has taken place in the town of Guav.
Although enough things affect us negatively, we are still blessed by the Almighty. This poem may not be liked by you, but I know you will like this poem.
And let me say good night to all of you that are there on the live. Let me see. I'm seeing, let me take it from the top there. I'm seeing Deborah, Jillian, Anne-Marie, Kathleen, Michelle, Jackie, Cynthia. Let me see, Leroy, Lishra, Henry, Eliza, Christine, Alan, good night to you, bro. Agnes, Matthew Boyne out there in Brooklyn, 61 degrees, yeah, Bossman. Sure, my sweetheart, how are you? And Barbara, good night. Faitlin, Wilma, Oslin, Adrian Watts, good night to you, bro, and the family. Gavin, good night to you. Michelle, Ann, yeah, Natalia, good night to you. Beavis, Dave, let me see, Antonito, Natalia. Yeah, there's a lady I met in town today. I promise to shout out the name, you know. The name that's slipping right now. Yes, my good friend, met you in town today right in front of Ryzen. For some reason, the name is slipping, yeah. Someone is reporting an accident in Happy Hill. I'm not sure when that accident. I saw an accident in the Happy Hill area earlier today. I was seeing something for that. I'm not sure if there's another one that they're speaking about there. Over on Facebook, good night to you, Lucky, Dennis. I'm seeing Jaylon, Glennis, good night to you. Jillian, Peter, Landon, yeah, Kenisha, Mavis, Denise, and I'm seeing Pierre, Sherry, Cindy, Dominic, Peter, Lydia, let me see, Linda, Imelda, Francois, Claude, Monica, Anne, yeah, Lynn Joseph, good night to you. Leroy, McLean, yeah, Sheme, good night. Maria, Cynthia, Marilyn, good night. Yeah, Courtney, Jocelyn, Shawnell, Dennis, Monique, yeah, let me see, yeah, right, yeah, so somebody just sending some info there for me. Keith, Winnie, ShopRite, Duncan, good night. Joycelyn, Bev, Cicely, Jillian, Olive, Marishan. I'm seeing Cindy there. I'm seeing Lucky. I mentioned Lucky already. I always mentioning Lucky. Yeah, good night to you. So yeah, the information, I don't have much information in relation to it so far. What I've heard from multiple sources is that there has been a shooting in Guelph. One individual has been shot. From what I saw, the individual was still alive at the point from the video that I saw. I don't know what has transpired after that. From some indications, it seems that the individual has been shot at least twice. And that's the only information I have. I'm seeing names and so I ain't giving no name. No, not until something is put out by the Royal Grenada Police Force will I say further than what I've picked up thus far. So again, there has been a shooting in the Guelph area, in Guelph town itself. One individual has been shot. Some 6 shots have been fired. Not all has hit the individual, but one individual has definitely been shot. All right. So as I said, when more information comes to hand during the program, in fact, I prefer not even to give it during the program, unless you hear something official, then I would give on that. But it goes on to a further problem that we'll discuss in a short while too.
We won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease this strain, but you're not.
Who all the New York people are boasting tonight? Yeah, the weather in Long Island is nice tonight. Our good friend in Brooklyn, yeah, he's liking the weather tonight.
Past administration, chief of corruption.
Keda, good night.
Economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession.
Good night, Christine, cousin Christine, good night to you.
Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man.
And Joyce, as usual, you're in the house. Good night.
Promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain.
So as I said, as I get more information in relation to it from, well, I've seen from multiple sources, but as I get more information, I'll let you know the situation in Guelph.
Never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to pull up.
Well, while New York people are boasting about the weather, Illinois is not as nice. It's cold in Illinois.
Full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place and a few disgruntled green people with the vex.
Yeah, from several sources I've heard a name, but no. You know what has happened? Sometimes you're going to give a name, it ends up being the wrong name, and you send people, family into a panic. I ain't doing that. Right, nice.
In vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain.
But again, we have been saying on this program for several months now that the issue of illegal firearms needs to be dealt with and needs to be dealt with efficiently. More and more over the last few months, you've been seeing more and more of these firearm related things happening here in Grenada. Yeah? So if it's not shipments, and not a shipment, but shipments of firearms being intercepted on the port, it is people being caught with illegal firearms at different places. It's shooting incidents taking place, and we hope that this one doesn't turn out to be fatal, but it's shooting incidents taking place at different locations. And again, I'm calling again on the Royal Grenada Police Force, and in particular, the Minister of National Security, to come on out and speak to the public in relation to this issue. Yeah? Come on out and speak to the public in relation to this issue. We do not want our country to end up being spoken about in the same breath as what we see taking place in St. Lucia, or what is taking place in Trinidad, or what is taking place in parts of Jamaica. You had a shootout in the middle of the street in Jamaica just over the last few days where they were attempting to rob a armored van or so. So you had a shootout taking place in the middle of the street. Yeah, security officer shot, all sorts of things. So we don't want our country to end up in that situation. None of us who say we love Grenada wants to see our country go down that road. And as such, these behaviors need to be nipped in the bud. It needs to be dealt with now. And the general public who are being, they are scared. There are many people out here that are now scared with some of the things that they find happening in our country when it comes to firearms and that sort of thing. Yeah? I heard the Prime Minister speaking, and before I heard him speaking in Carriacou in relation to the issue. I heard him at another forum speaking in relation to the issue of firearms, and he doesn't believe in firearms, and as far as he's concerned, not even the police should have firearms. That's absolute nonsense, because you're going to have criminals who obviously are going to have firearms. You must have police officers to deal with those criminals who do have firearms and that sort of thing. So I was hearing him speaking about what, and he doesn't believe in that, and somebody has to really prove why they need to have a personal firearm and all that sort of thing. And then you have this situation now with a proliferation of illegal firearms taking place in our country. Yeah? One by one, you have these people being found with illegal firearms, and you also have the situation where actual shootings have taken place. And there's one individual right now on 2 separate charges of attempted murder using a firearm. So at least now, come out and say something to us. And something more than trying to talk about the people who have the legal firearms and restricting them, and attempting to restrict people from who, in all intents and purposes, have reason to have and ought to be able to apply and obtain a legal one. Instead of speaking about ways and means of trying to stop them, speak about how you're going to eradicate those illegal ones off of the streets right now. Whether it is an amnesty that you're going to have, so that those who have can bring in. Yes, the amnesties may sound crazy, but they actually work. You do get, if it's one you get off the street, is a lot. Yeah, because if it's one out there, is one too much out there. So if it's one you get when you do an amnesty, yeah, at least if people know they can bring it in with no consequences, so at least you offer the amnesty. But indeed, and I did hear a presentation by the Prime Minister recently saying that there's going to be there's going to be a change in relation to the laws, that if you're found with an illegal firearm, there are laws in place already. The issue is, how do we tighten up on our borders? How do we tighten up on our borders to deal with these issues of illegal firearms coming in? For instance, are we going to be placing things such as scanners at the port? And if we're going to put container scanners and so on, things to scan barrels and so on the Port Authority, so you could intercept these illegal things, because what you found on the port is one thing. What passed through without you finding could be another one. So, what are you going to be doing to assist the workers on the Port Authority in their job of finding these things and ensuring that they don't pass through? So are you going to speak to the United States and other partners to see if you can get scanners for the barrels and the containers that are coming through? Are you going to improve the working relationship with U.S. Customs and Border and so on, so that even if they see a shipment coming down, they would inform down here that that shipment is coming down, so you can have a sting operation and see who's coming down with it and so on. Speak to the Grenadian people. Do a special something in relation to law and order. I've been saying it since last year. And let people know what is taking place. And don't go in the comfort of the town hall where there is no Kalisha Faria, or there's no Cullen Bob, there is no Linda Straker, there is no Nancy Maguire, there is no the young lady from GBN, Chrislina John, and all of these people that can question you and ask you questions. You're going in the safety of the town hall and think that that is speaking to the people. That's not speaking to the people. Again, that's the echo chamber where the NDC uses that opportunity to speak to themselves, where they use that opportunity to speak their language to themselves. And that is what we've been seeing constantly happening. That instead of having the post-cabinet press briefings or the special press briefings, we at Talking Points forced them to have a special press briefing the last time by announcing that the Labour Commissioner was no more. And they had to call a special press briefing the next morning to try and explain why they didn't have a Labour Commissioner again. I'm hearing that they hire one. Now, just verifying my information. Yeah, I've heard several things for the day so far. But I ain't coming with them yet. Yeah, I want to verify. I like to verify my information in relation to other things. The shooting in Guelph, I could tell you that's verified. Yeah? But I want to verify some more information before I come to you all with that. Because I'm telling you, a lot of things are happening, eh?
Refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline. But when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine, fine, fine. We are looking into it. We are looking into it. Never mind, never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon, soon, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place.
Yeah, some people have sent a picture of who the individual are not. No. Nah.
When you trick us with campaign promises.
You know how much time I hear thing on the scene is one person, and then within a few minutes or a half hour later, here's our next person. No, me, papa.
Nah, refrain.
Not tonight.
Nah, refrain. Busy governing, busy managing, busy politicking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada. 1,000 Frenchmen can never be wrong, but you hold.
And then while all of this sort of thing is happening, you have the chaos that's taking place within the Royal Grenada Police Force. Yeah. You have the chaos that's taking place inside there. Where they want to demote. They actually want to demote the individual who is holding the post of Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Tafawa Pierre. They want to demote him. Yeah? And while they're looking to demote him, right, within the Royal Grenada Police Force, they are also spiting anybody who they perceive to be a supporter of the New National Party. It's taking place in the Royal Grenada Police Force, and it's taking place in our public service. That sort of spiteful and vindictive behavior.
Lead a lot just before the next ballot. But you guys will have to come real good, cause it's a long time Grenada ain't eat a food. You think politician good? Trick us with campaign promises. We won't stay at ease.
A good night to you, Kathy Albert.
We've waited in.
Yeah, so there's a lot that's taking place in the Royal Grenada Police Force. Folks, we have been saying it. In fact, one of the newspapers recently came out along the same lines of what we have been telling you all for a couple months now, that many police officers have started the process of leaving the Royal Grenada Police Force. The latest figure I'm hearing is getting close to 200. They have one, and let me just take this call as I'm getting that call. Let me just take it. Hello, good night.
Yeah, good night, Sheldon.
Good night.
Yes. How do they know that these police officers support NMP? Now, I work in a polling station on election day. And when somebody go behind that board or office, whatever it is, right? You don't know who this person vote for, right? They don't know. That is a secret. It's only the person and the paper that will know who they vote for. So how do they know that these police officers are NNP? How do they know they're supporting NNP?
My friend, you've had a recently elected member of the NDC executive. I could call name, you know, but a recently elected member of the NDC executive has openly made the statement that all NNP in the public service have to go.
But how they knowing those people? That I don't understand that. The only person that will know who they vote for is the paper and the person and the pen.
You've had people dragged before the Public Service Commission simply because they are good friends with an ex-minister within the New National Party, or they are friends with an MP within the New National Party. They are friends also with them.
What I have to say, they won't be there forever. And old people say time longer than twine.
Of course.
Right? And all praise have amen. He never have a praise, thine have amen, and all rope have an end. He ain't have a rope that don't have an end. Thank you, Shenlan.
All right. So I'm telling you that there is a effort at this point in time, and you hear the sycophants out there. Yes, the brown-nosed sycophants out there that are consistently that are constantly calling for the removal of every single person who it is perceived is a supporter of the New National Party from the public service. And that extends as well to the police service. So you have officers who are being treated willy-nilly. They're just being sent all over the island. They decide today you could find yourself in St. Paul's police station, and by tomorrow morning you could find yourself outposted to Petit Martinique. You could be in St. George's today, or you could be in RRU today and find yourself calling traffic in town tomorrow. You could be, they're just sending you any which way simply based on where they believe that your political allegiance lies. They have been treating people that way. And again, there are many officers who are waiting on their pay and grade. They want to hear the stories. They don't want to hear the excuses. You promise them pay and grade. You ensured that you paid the teachers, innit? You ensured that the pensions were paid in the same way that the New National Party would have ensured that the pensions were paid, innit? So in the same way, deal with the pay and grade as you promised the police officers you would deal with the pay and grade. They have been waiting patiently, but everybody patience does run out at a point in time. They have been waiting patiently. Yeah? All sorts of things happening with the police officers. Look, you have a situation in Carriacou, again involving the MP with another altercation with police in Carriacou. So it's not one, it's not two. Several altercations taking place between the MP for Carriacou, who seems to think that MP means Misa police, and is talking down to the police officers and take me to court and say a lie. You, Tevin Andrew, take me to court and say a lie. Because like you seem to believe that MP means Misa police. So every time the police trying to do their job, you getting involved and you getting in between like Wednesday. So please, cut it out. You are the member of parliament. And as such, you should attempt to carry yourself with some sort of decorum and have respect for the men and women in uniform in Carriacou, in Grenada, and anywhere else. They know you look at children. You can't talk to them how you want. Not because you're the MP. Means that you could just talk down to them and order them to do this and that and walk in police station and all this kind of thing. No. Those are not the powers of an MP. An MP, a member of parliament, is supposed to be working on improving the lives of people, not trying to torment people as you have been doing from the time you come in. Because all you have on your record so far, Mr. Andrews, all you have on your record so far is that you have traumatized a group of people by sending them home from different ministries. You, because you is the minister, you had the final say in relation to it. You are responsible for the sending home of several people from ministries, taking away bread from people's mouth, and not rich people, people who were barely making ends meet. And you knock the bread out of their mouth. You are also responsible for taking away homes from several people in Carriacou. That is your record. Victimization. Yeah? Then you're trying to you have to make sure you wasn't wrong for the funeral. You know which funeral I'm talking about. You have to make sure you're not wrong. You have to make sure you wasn't wrong for that funeral. Don't worry, you know. I had to do a special program on Carriacou, but I want to make sure that Sister Isles is tuned in that night. Because I want to do a special program on Carriacou. Because believe me, it's thicker than a 1980s phone book what I have to say about what is going on in Carriacou. We have a caller on the line. Good night.
Stella Scott, good night.
Good night, my dear.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
And good night to the Grenadian people. Why you giving this civil advice, sir? Why you giving them advice and educating this boy and them? This little boy and them little boys. If you the minister and you talking to the police and them how you want, what kind of minister? You know no minister? I don't understand. I respect you sometimes, you know. Why you giving them advice?
The man feel MP stand for Misa police.
They hold for themselves, children. Let them go on in the hold for themselves. Because they tend to be bright people. Because we done. Yes, I'm objecting you. Leave Kevin and them, they do what they want. You don't just get the first caller. The first caller tell you every prayer have an amen and every room have an end. Leave these people, let it do what they're doing. They come in. Slow and sure. You hear?
Okay, ma'am.
These people and them, you just have to leave them. They have a conscience, Sheldon. These people cannot sleep in the night. Nobody tell me that I know that. Because they know to themselves they're doing a lot of wrong things. They're doing a lot of wrong things in Grenada. Look at what they're doing to we as the poor people on the bus terminal. Port Authority, all the members and then on the board that suffering us. Well, they know I vote for them. They know that. And look at what they're doing to people. They just close the terminal at 8 o'clock. Sheldon, for all the amount of years I'm there, I know they is open 10. It's latest, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is the latest. And some of us are there. Management knew that some of the other vendors is kicking the fine to pay the rent. Yeah? And you just bring a letter and give everybody. And immediately they have to stop selling Friday chicken. How they going to pay the rent? How they going to pay the rent? How they going to eat food? How some of them going to send their children to school? Them muddy ways. Courts have to take care of them. I don't have a problem. You're telling the tenants that they cannot use not like that. And if I have an electric kettle and I want to make a cup of tea in the day, I can use that, but they have inside the office. All of them inside, they have to pay for it. Sheldon, I don't leave in them so. They're wicked. And you cannot tell me, Camille Chirida Scott, that the members in cabinet don't know what they're doing to people. I'm telling them every day I call program, I go, bust the bubble. I am not living in a closet. Sheldon Scott, I am not living in a closet. And they're taking advantage on every one of us there. They're very spiteful. But they're going to get a bad whipping. God is going to punish them. I don't pray the high science. I, Camille, look pray the high science. And they're taking advantage. And people is suffering. Mr. Scott, before I leave you, you have people that live in work 8 o'clock in Granada. You have people in Lansapin that live in work 8 o'clock. And by the time they take a bus from Granada to reach in town, and they're going to Granville and they're going to Sutton, there is no bus. Why don't these people try to do something better for the Grenadian people that bringing money in the terminal? Easy for people that bringing money. The passengers that coming from Granville and Sutton and Victoria and Guelph that bringing in revenue in that terminal. And you have some wicked people, bad mind people on the board and supervisors and acting boss. All you will suffer. Somebody send a clip for me from Africa where a woman going in the courthouse to suffer with this and she bawling like a goat. Don't laugh. I will send it for you. She starts to bawl like a goat. All you be very careful what all you do to people in this country. Because some of you might bawl like goats. Be very careful what you do to people. You hear what I'm telling all you the Grenadian people? And then all you, when you get to bawl like goats, all you go by Pastor King. And all you go by Pastor Simon. But no pastor will have to save y'all. Stop doing the wrong things to poor people. Everybody balling. Everybody balling in that terminal. My God. Are you very spiteful? But let me tell you before I go, Mr. Prime Minister, you could make them sign all the paper. You could make them sign all the paper in every ministry in Grenada. You shame NDC supporter. You NDC supporters. They will let the public know what's going on inside it. Tell it. Stay inside it. And tell yourself, Prime Minister Dick Mitchell, tell yourself, if NNC supporters are bringing out information, NDC supporters, they're in front of you left, right, and center. You watching them in your face. They're not bringing out this information. You don't get all. You could make them sign all paper. You could make them leave all the phone in box. They bring it out still, sir. Have a good night, Grenada.
Kame, later. Yes, folks. Yeah, I mean, come on. We have to understand what is taking place in our country. There is a situation in our country where if the minister in Carriacou is showing that level of disrespect to members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, what he leave for his supporters? What does he leave for other people in Carriacou and Petit Martinique? Because the police officers is somebody's son and somebody's daughter, you know. Is somebody's brother and somebody's sister. Somebody's mother, somebody's father. So when he decides that he wants to disrespect them and he feels he's just disrespecting that officer, you're disrespecting the office that that individual holds, and you're also disrespecting the entire family. Kami say don't give them advice. Kami say don't give them advice. Yeah. I'm seeing some videos and so coming out from I'm not putting them up. No, I'm not gonna send them. No, I'm not putting them up. Yeah. But I'm using this as an explanation of a wider issue that's taking place. For instance, last year we heard of a situation where goods were coming off of the port of St. George without due process. We were hearing that, innit? I was hearing it, you were hearing it, we were hearing it. Goods were coming off of the port of St. George without due process. We all know that was taking place. The Grenada Ports Authority sent out a notice in relation to the firing at that point in time of a staff member who it was said was complicit in what was taking place on the Port Authority. That containers and other things were leaving the Port Authority without going through the proper procedure and without payments being made to the government of Grenada. That various containers, etc. were leaving the Port Authority and that individual was responsible. And that is the reason that they had dismissed, at that point in time, the individual. There was strike action on the port and all of that. But in all of that, I have common sense. You all who are listening to this program, every one of you, whether you support NNP or NDC, you all have common sense, isn't it? And our common sense tells us that if the person was guilty of releasing containers from the port and sending out and costing the government a lot of money, then there have to be as well other people that are guilty along with the individual who were the ones who owned the containers, who had the trucks that were loaded with goods, who, whether it's barrels or whatever that were leaving. It tells us that there are other people involved in this whole thing. And if that is the case, who are the other people that are involved in this thing? Not a word. Not a word. And they don't want us to talk about that. They want us to hush on that matter. Because a certain government minister, sitting government minister's name is calling as one of the people who possibly, it is believed, are one of the people that had goods coming off the port and had whatever it was coming off the port without paying. We're hearing a sitting government minister name calling in that. Yeah? And we know it could have been goods that was coming off the port, but it could have been other things too. We don't know because it did not go through the proper procedure. The proper procedure was not followed in relation to those items that were coming off of the Port Authority. We're also hearing certain stories in relation to the Cabinet Secretary. Yes, the head of the public service, Ms. Carvelette. We're hearing some allegations in relation to the reasons she was removed from customs. And now she's in charge overall of the public service. Yes, the same Carvelette. Mr. Prime Minister, you may want to revert to the file on the individual that you have now made your cabinet secretary and check through the same way you're sending people to the public service right now and digging up files. You may want to dig up the files on some of the people around you. Yeah? Always say, sometimes you may very well find that your enemy is in your footstool. So you may want to dig up the files on some of the people that you have around you. But there are allegations that are following your appointed cabinet secretary. And were there not other people within the public service that were fully qualified to become the cabinet secretary? And you jump past them and place Ms. Lett above all of them. Was not the same individual that you now have as your cabinet secretary, yeah, also vying for a position at some point in time? I don't know if it's in your political party or where. I know there was on the Public Workers Union. Yeah, I know they vie for a position there. But I'm asking a question, if they also vied for a position on the NDC executive. I'm just asking a question. I ain't saying that is the case or that is not the case. I'm asking that question. So when you dig in, dig proper. Yeah? Because if you go through the files, in the same way that all you're going through and requesting files for Public Service Commission now on this one and that one and so, and anybody all you find, oh, you was friends with Emlyn Pierre, or I see you talking to Emlyn Pierre, you find yourself in front of the Public Service Commission. They have weaponized Grenada's Public Service Commission as a tool of victimization against public workers. And if the Public Workers Union, you, Mr. Brian Grimes, Ms. Daisy Hazard, all of you there, if you all sit down and allow this government to get away with weaponizing the Public Service Commission against public workers simply based on perception of political allegiance, a right that is guaranteed under the Constitution of Grenada, then you all will have failed the workers of Grenada. Because that's what they're doing. There's no if, what, or but about it. They are weaponizing the Public Service Commission against workers. That's what they're doing. And trying to create an atmosphere of fear within the public service that people are supposed to afraid them. So whether it's the Misa police in Carriacou, or whether it is another minister who could just stop, and when the police stop them in traffic violation, just decide to fling their hand at them and they just drive off, or whether it's the allegation that a certain minister was driving without a license. Whatever it is, needs to be addressed. Because if the government is acting lawless, what you leave for the rest of the country? If the government feels that it's okay to just go and collect money on behalf of government, not following the Public Finance Management Act of 2015, ignoring the sections in relation to what the Accountant General has to do, the issuance of receipts and so on, the creation of a specific account in relation to that program, if the government just decides that they're going to totally ignore that, then we're setting ourselves up to become a situation like what is going on in View 4 right now in St. Lucia. We're setting up ourselves like what is going on in the Beetham and certain parts of Trinidad. We're setting up ourselves for a lawless society. So if we can't find out, after all this time, because a minister name calling, if we can't find out who are the other people that were involved, I don't care if I was one of them, call my name. If I was involved in taking goods off the port, without paying, investigate, call my name. I don't care who it is. It could be my best friend, could be my family. Call the names, do what has to be done. But don't try and cover it up. Everything this government doing since they come in is try and cover up and try and fire. Now they come with the wash program. Yes, we are sending home. Yeah. Who are sending home? Yeah, who are sending home or we are sending home? Who are sending home? The wash program. These are the kind of things that are taking place in our country right now that have to be addressed. They have to be addressed. Because if they are not nipped in the bud, if the unions don't stand up on behalf of those workers that are now being victimized by the government, and then you have the data protection bill. And again, let me make it clear, because I think some people misunderstanding what we're saying. Dr. Mitchell made what I'm about to say clear. Honorable Emlyn Pear, Honorable Peter David, Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis, Honorable Clarice Modest Cohen, everyone, every speaker on the New National Party side made it very clear, and I have made it very clear several times over on this program, that they've made it clear that they are not against the bill. They have concerns with sections in the bill and the powers that it offers. So they are not, again, you heard Terence Forrester speaking a pile of nonsense this morning about, oh, the bill deal with if somebody see you in your place and they take, Terry, listen now, go and read the 2013 Electronic Crimes Act. If you want to find out about that, ask me. I know about it. That is what deals with that. This bill does not deal with that. I heard another idiot calling the morning before about, oh, that deals with the people sending out your videos and that kind of thing. No, that is under the Electronic Crimes Act as well. So if you want to deal with that, that is how people have found themselves in problem before. There are more than one person that's been charged under the Electronic Crimes Act before and found guilty and have been asked to pay substantive sums of money for leaking people's videos and that sort of thing. So that is under the Electronic Crimes Act. You don't need the Data Protection Act for that. We've got a call online. Good night. Hello? Hello? Oh, it seems as though let me see if that caller will come through. Because it seems as that caller is calling on the WhatsApp, and there seems to be, yeah, everything is okay on my end, so probably on their end. So we'll wait for them to call back. Yeah. So I heard this nonsense. I heard my good friend, Mr. Jervis Dabrio, speaking this morning in relation to aspects. And again, no one is against the bill. We are against certain aspects of the bill. It's like you're giving me pancakes with poison. So you gave me pancakes, or okay, let me use a Grenadian term. You gave me cornmeal porridge, but you put rat doo-doo inside it. That is the kind of thing. That is what you're doing. You gave me something, it look nice and so, until you stir it and then you find, wait, where's this? Inside it. Yeah? That is what we're saying. We're not saying that the bill is totally bad. We're not saying that the bill is not needed. We're saying that there are parts that cause concern. We have a caller. Good night. Hello?
Good night, Sheldon. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine.
Good night, Sheldon.
Good night. Good night. You go right ahead. You're live.
Sheldon, you know the finished road in, not Grenville Vale, but Montcoma.
Yeah.
You know the new road what the NMP administration was doing in Montcoma just before election?
Yes.
Right. You know, I was amazed to see that Mr. Ron Reddy was taking that thing down here like if it's a brainchild, that he started that road. You know, boasting on the chat and saying that the work is 80% finished, but at least it take 3 days. The Chinese take 3 days to finish it. They finish Monday. So that's road leading from Bok Vendom to Busheju.
Yeah.
It's complete now. And under the NMP administration. But I think Ron Reddy was trying to tiff it to say like he do nothing. I don't see the NDC do anything at all since they come. But what are they doing? everything seems to me like if it's wrong, what the NMP do, they don't want it. But anything that they see what is good, they're trying to grab it like if it's theirs. But they don't realize that there is a lot of Grenadians monitoring this government, this new NDC administration. We know what the NMP start, we know what the NMP would have done, and we know what the NMP left. So if they feel that they could take anything, because I don't think they have no interest of doing anything in this country, more than to fet a wrong line, a wrong hard party, do what to do, and post things on Facebook, and like if it's them creating anything. They don't create anything, they don't create no impact for no successful move in this country. And it's a shame. And to beside them is young people. Them is young people with no ideas. No ideas. They don't have no ideas at all. They are looking at the whole thing and they say transformation. And what I've seen is they're paying people to cut the overhanging on the side of the road. And they say that's transformation. If you go in Granans, right in the Granans by Wall Street, you've seen that the greater areas, I think the land is not even government land, that is private land. And the greater, I say they planting flowers and say that's transformation. You understand? If you go the same place in Lagoon Road, Kirani James, Boulevard, where they used to say Mr. Discovery want to do this and Mr. I see the fencing wrong now. They clean it up, they take them people boat. They take them people boat and throw it in and way perseverance and way so many throw it. And they saying that is a transformation. What cleaning up the Lagoon Road have to do transformation? After Mr. Discovery was doing it already, and they do what they have to do, they demonstrate, they do all kind of things. Now they come now and they removing them people boat, they removing them people vehicle on the side of the road and saying that is transformation. Tell them people formation, like, get something to do to create in this country so people could see what is transformation. Because up to now, we Grenadian people don't know their meaning of transformation. But we know transformation is to create new employment, new development, something new. Basically, they build maybe a new hospital or something, and then you could call it transformation. But you can't cutlassing by the side of the road and say so. They get rid of all the road work now. They do fat night work, and they giving they cutlassing by the side of the road now and calling that transformation. So in that road work again, it's transformation. Shall I have a good night?
Thank you very much, my brother. Yes, indeed. But no, the transformation is transform you from living to dead. Yeah. Transform you from having money to having none. From employed to unemployed. Yeah. From even poor, not to poor to middle class or rich, from poor to destitute. That's what they're trying to do. And while we're on that, let me just take this call and then I'll get back on that issue. Hello, good night.
Hello.
Hi, good night, caller. You're live.
Yeah, okay. Earlier when the program started, a young lady mentioned the fact you can't know who you voted for because it's a secret ballot.
Mm-hmm.
I want to defer that because if a party has card-holding members, you could determine who voted for you or who voted for who. So I think it may be simple as that, although there could be people could change their mind when they reach in the booth. But I mean, obviously, the parties have card-holding members. And so I would think that is a possibility. You could find out who voted for who.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I was going to say.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, that's one way. Some people outright tell you they support a party. Yeah, political parties do canvassing. They go out there and they do their political canvass and they ask people in various ways who they support. Or if they know that every time the New National Party has something, they're seeing you going behind the New National Party, or every time the NP has an activity that you are there, or that you are one of the people always on social media saying things in support of the New National Party, they take that to mean that you're a supporter of the New National Party. So there are several ways that they gauge that. Let's take this call. Hello, good night.
Shalon,
Hi.
Shalon,
Yes, ma'am.
I hear you talk there tonight and you call on the union members, Mr. Grimes and Miss Hazard.
Mm-hmm.
Shalon, I bet you it was NNP. It was NNP. What was there? You would have seen them people and people would have take up that and they would have in the street demonstrating and talking. You wouldn't get Mr. Grimes and Miss Hazard to go and talk on the behalf of these people and who are in the public service. Shalon, these people is hypocrite people. You know what I tell you?
I beg to differ.
I bet
I
it
think
was
they've been
NNP
speaking.
for the day. There was an all media houses talking. Shalon, I want you all to know that a lot of people in this country is very hypocrite. You don't know where you're there with these people, Shalon. Shalon, these people are them hypocrite. And I want to tell you something publicly, let it all hear. Shalon, you have to be careful. You have to be careful walking the street. Don't let nobody give you no back to hold for them because they try to set up people like me and you. You know what go on this week with me?
Tell
In the
me.
seminar, a nice lady, well dressed, decent lady, came with a bag. She come with a bag. I don't write like them. But I said, Miss, can you hold that bag there for me? I said, open the bag. Open the bag. She tell me she going by Woodland to come back. I said, what in the bag? Open the bag. You understand? But I don't get in news already. Somebody warned me. And said, Miss Cammy, people going to come with bags. So when they come, find out. Open the bag. She don't want to open the bag. I said, well, go with your bag. Because they're going to try to set us up. They will come with the cocaine and the marijuana. And if it ain't my place, I'm responsible. And I want to tell you, be careful, Shalon. Because when school children tell you things, it's true. I just want the public and the world to know. You understand? They're trying to set me up on the terminal. Are you bring you back home? But all you have to open every plastic bag out in your bag. Be very careful, Mr. Scott. And they're talking about guns. Somebody just get shot in golf. Well, the amount of gun you have in Grenada. And where you think he come out? Come through? Where you think he come through on the boat? Papa God go expose all of them just now. Shalon, mark my word today. Papa God going to expose those in the Port Authority. Shalon Scott, trust me. It's just a matter of time. Time longer than twine. You hear me? And you talk about the police. A lot of police is going.
Well, I know
I
a
have
lot.
friends that leave already.
I know
They're
a lot.
coming back. Trust me.
I know a lot because the
I
thing
am
is,
telling you that, Sheldon, a lot of people, they could call the radio and use big words. Big words. But there ain't problem. Grenada in a lot of problem. Grenada in a lot of problem, Mr. Scott. Some of them afraid to call the radio and they're telling you what's going on in the ministry. They're telling you what's going on in the hospital. They're just afraid. So you don't worry. Do not worry, Grenada. He who dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I leave that word for you all to think about.
Amen.
Okay? Have a good night, Grenada. I don't call him back. I know and listen.
all right, Kavi. Folks, 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on the inside. Oh, before I go any further, let me just clear one thing up. Last night I was saying that the Parliament sitting will be taking place tomorrow. No. Parliament sitting will be taking place next week, Wednesday. All right. The Grenada Bar Association, they had a meeting this evening to discuss the data protection bill. Now, This is something that ought to have taken place before this bill came to the House of Representatives. But they have looked at the bill and they have found issues with the bill. As such, they've had their general meeting to discuss the different aspects of that bill and concerns that have been raised in relation to the bill. So I want to hear if Claudette Joseph going to tell the Grenada Bar Association that their concerns are not genuine, that they're just saying things for saying things' sake. I want to hear if Deacon Mitchell, the Prime Minister of this country, who is supposed to be listening to the concerns of the people of this country, is just going to dismiss the concerns of the Grenada Bar Association in relation to this bill and various aspects of this bill. I want to hear if that's going to be the case. If they're just going to just go ahead with it. So the Senate sitting is not tomorrow. The Senate sitting has been scheduled now for next week Wednesday. The special sitting of the Senate is scheduled for next week Wednesday. Right? The New National Party will be having a session to discuss the Data Protection Bill 2023. That will be taking place from 6 p.m. tomorrow at the Grenada Trade Center Annex. And it will also be online. So those of you that are in the south or have the time and can make it down, head on down there. And it will be discussed. We'll have a representative from the Grenada Bar Association will also be there to discuss different aspects of the bill. All right. I'm still trying to figure out how that plays into program for tomorrow night. Because if it starts at 6, I assume by 8 it might be completed. So I have to balance my time between there. And, you have to balance my time between the two. So we're going to make sure that you get the information. You can check the Talking Points page. And so we'll attempt to bring the entire activity to you, the New National Party page and all of that. We'll attempt to bring it to you. All right, 440-7377. So just to let you all know, the Parliament sitting is taking place. The Senate sitting, not tomorrow. It's taking place next week, Wednesday. If we make a mistake, we big enough to come and say we make a mistake. Right, the Parliament sitting is taking place next week, Wednesday. All right, so there's quite a bit of things that we have to get done in relation to that. Right, also, let me see, folks, remember, donations. We are seeking donations to assist people. There are people that are approaching us for assistance with different things. So we are seeking assistance. Please, you can check the Talking Points. There's a link on both YouTube and Facebook. I see many people sending messages and so, but you can go there and you can donate. Even if it's $5, we don't mind. If it's $5, whatever. And so we need to assist that dialysis patient. I haven't spoken to him for a few days, so I'm not sure if he has been doing the dialysis in the last couple of days, but we do need to assist him from time to time. He tries to help himself, but if we can help him as well, we try to do that. Many of you, and we thank you again, have been passing by Cami and you have been leaving the donations there. And he and his family, everybody, we're thankful. But for those of you that can send online, whether it's $5, $10, $20, whatever you can donate to assist. All right, because we need to assist as much as possible. All right, yes, 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. And let me see, I think we have a caller on the line. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Scott.
Hi, good night, sir. How are you?
I'm all for the time being.
All right, lovely.
I want to get something really clear.
Yes.
Is it the lady who we had the problem, or they had the problem with at the pier, who was dismissed from the pier and they work out a compromise? Is she the person you're saying now is the cabinet secretary?
No, that's a different person. The person I'm saying that the person who is now the cabinet secretary, that the Prime Minister needs to look at the reason she was removed from customs, because I'm hearing allegation of a similar thing to what that lady was fired for from the pier. I'm hearing allegations of that in relation to the present cabinet secretary, which is the reason that they were removed from customs years ago.
Okay.
So it's two different people.
Okay.
But it also means that there's a trend that is taking place there, and some of the people involved are sitting, from what tongue and school children saying, from what is being alleged, some of the people who have been involved in these type of activities sitting down in the cabinet in the cabinet room on a weekly basis.
Well, Mr. Scott, it appears that the opposition party members will have a hard time with getting questions answered from the parliament. And my reason for saying that is that when the parliament opens, they're restricting all the bills, and they're suspending all the other activities and going on to the bills what they want. So the opposition party doesn't have chance to ask questions for you to get to the ministers or different department questions to those departments, and that is a dangerous thing. That is highly dangerous, because you're going to have a lot of parliament sitting and questions that would not be able to be answered. So what the opposition is doing now with holding the press conference, that's a good, because you have to let your voice be heard to get the message across. Because it seems to me, throughout the life of the parliament, it will be very restricted to get answers from the parliament. I don't know if you observe that.
And even the questions that are asked, they are specifically phrased, and the government has simply just been ignoring what is being asked and answering what they want to answer.
Right.
So, for instance, you ask for the names of the people working in the Ministry of Implementation and Transformation. You ask for the names, you ask for the salaries, you ask for what they work, what is their duty, and so on, and who they're reporting to. They just totally ignore that question. They just refuse to answer it.
Right.
Because they know they have some people working for $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 inside there, and they don't want to say.
So that's why I say that it will be highly hard for the opposition, because even the new board, the new interim board that the Prime Minister set up for the marketing board, in place of the marketing board, we have not been told who are the members of the board and their general function. We have not been told how many persons kept back, because the Prime Minister told us that there was 92 persons. Then we hear 94. Then we hear 100 and something. Mm-hmm. They said that they was keeping a skeleton staff. We don't hear how much is skeleton staff. Then we hear about 20 people remain. So those questions, those things are not being answered, and it's going to make life very, very difficult for the opposition party. Very difficult for the persons in opposition.
I'll say this as well,
I think it's something that you all, well, you are doing a good job, but I think it's something that we really have to fight to get information. Information will be very scarce, because the Prime Minister said when he feels to give you information, when to know, he will let you know. Mm-hmm. The journalists seems to can't get questions in as they want to. Again, so this is dangerous for the development. Highly dangerous.
Because they're not asking.
To suit them.
They're not setting up themselves to be asked questions by the general public. In fact, the Prime Minister was supposed to hold, week before he was supposed to hold a special press conference. That was cancelled. That was cancelled. Then you heard the town hall. But the journalists are not going to go into the town hall to question the Prime Minister. That's the public opportunity to question and that kind of thing. And what they did, they make sure that the public there, you see them, they had on the NDC t-shirt, NDC hat band. Some of them maybe even had on NDC shoes and all if it have that. But they went out there to intimidate anybody that might feel to ask a question that might be considered to be anti-government. Nobody went up and asked that kind of question because they were speaking in an echo chamber. It was basically a mini NDC gathering.
Exactly.
So nobody would go and ask there, and they're not putting themselves in a position for the media to ask them questions. They're not doing it. The same people who say that the NNP was running from going on the Kelon Bob and going on the Kalishtraf area. Right now, they're running from going on the Kalishtraf area, the Kelon Bob, the GBN, all of them.
I've proven that. That's why I say that it will be a very tough thing for the members of the opposition. It will be very, very tough to get information, and I don't think it is good for the running of the country. But we have to take that. That's what we have. That's what we get. We have to take it. But it's very, very difficult.
All right. Thank you very much.
But you all will have to really your job become very harder by seeking the information to get it, because we would not get the information that we need from the government point of view. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, and I heard the Prime Minister making the statement at the town hall that they're having press briefings, and so Prime Minister, you lie. No, straight up. It's a no if what about it is not putting it in a nice way. It's not trying to be diplomatic or politically correct. Prime Minister, you lie. All right. In the same way that they were lying when they say that the WASH program is the brainchild of the Prime Minister, we proved last night to you. We were able to prove to you that ain't true. Yeah. From the Rotary Club down the road, we were able to prove to you that ain't true. All right. We have a caller on the line. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, sir. Go right ahead. You're live.
Well, the last person who mentioned about the way things are going with dispensing of news and information from the government, all I have to say is, listen, the government has 5 years in term, as a term, first term. And if we say there is democracy in this country, the people will determine what to do next time when the vote comes up again. That is all.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. And the caller is right. Yeah, the caller is correct. If they don't want to answer one way, they go answer next way, you know. Yeah, the index finger, yeah, they go answer next way when you put that in the ink after you make a specific mark, yeah, but not next to their symbol to another symbol, yeah, they go answer, right? They must answer. The day will come when they will have to answer. 440, let me just clear the box. 440-7377. For those of you outside of Grenada, 347-329-3101. That's for our good friends out there in North America. Whether you're in Canada or the US, you can call us on that number. Or you can call us on the WhatsApp number 440-7377. That's both a direct line and the WhatsApp number. It's now 12 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock on the Spice Island of Grenada. All right. So once again, just reminding you, another thing before I move on to that part. Somebody was asking me a question a while ago. And you see again, rules, and rules. If you don't understand how things work, ask a question of the people who understand how things work. So here it is. I go onto the SpiceMass website and I'm seeing the board of directors. I'm seeing the chairman as Mr. Kurt Ross, Chief Executive Officer Mr. Cecil Noel, Miss Frances Purcell as a Director for Human Resource, Sayoban Lloyd for the Legal Fraternity as a Director, Mr. Christopher Phillip, Director of Business and Finance, Mr. Mario Castle, Director for the Creative Industry, Dolores Winsborough, Director for Culture, Edwin Francis, Director for the NLA, let me see, ACP John Mitchell, Director, Royal Grenada Police Force, Mr. Victor Ashby, Director, Steel Band Association, Mr. Sylvan Chan, the Director for Calypso. Now I have several questions in relation to that board of directors. Where's MAS? Where's the MAS fraternity? Where is the MAS fraternity on the board of directors of SpiceMass? So MAS ain't count then. So all the fancy MAS bands that are out there, both the locally based, the traditional, all the Shortney and Veco band and all of them, not represent. And don't give me that nonsense or that crap. Or as we would say in Trinidad, and my Hindu-speaking friends would understand what I mean when I say gubar. Yeah, the thing that does fall out of a cow like a patty. Right. Gubar. Don't give me that gubar about, you have somebody representing the creative industry and culture and that sort of thing. No. Where is the representative for MAS? And secondly, if this is a board of directors and these individuals are given the responsibility for the direction of SpiceMass 2023 and beyond, why has this not been gazetted? Again, I've been reading through the Gazette, and if you announce a board of directors, it has to be gazetted. Some of these people have been introducing themselves to the general public and so as director and chief executive officer and so. This has not been gazetted. the actions of these individuals are not covered by law because they are not legally constituted until they are gazetted. God, that's an all I have to come and tell all you. Yes, I know Francis Purcell is based in New York. Yeah, that and all we have to come and tell you. Yeah, no, I have to tell them. That and all we have to come and tell all you that all you need to gazette. In other words, when a board of directors is selected, right, and it's approved, the list of persons has to be posted in the government gazette. Now, the government gazette comes out periodically, and you could do a special one and or weekly one, whatever. And the names of these people, yeah, should be gazetted. It must be placed into that document and said, the board of directors of the Spice Mass Corporation are as such. Right? This has not been gazetted. Oh gosh, everything we have to tell Ron and them, so? Ay. Anyway, go and gazette the thing. Alright? Go and gazette it. I start off on the wrong foot with that already. So anyway. Yeah, so go and gazette it. Nice? That too we had to say? Everything we had to spoon food all year? Spoon feed all year? Yeah, kind of thing. Right. Nice. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on the inside. And last night we were having a discussion. Before I run out of time, or before the internet decided to do it dance again tonight and cut us off. Yeah, last night we were speaking about the National Insurance Scheme. So, we were telling you about these properties that the National Insurance Scheme has for sale. We were reminding you that these are the same properties together with another property that didn't belong to government that was sold by the then NDC administration over to the National Insurance Scheme when they were trying to raise money to pay salaries, etc. They broke. So they were selling that to try and raise money to pay salaries because they broke and they were still paying late anyway. But they did selling those because they were trying to raise money to pay salaries. So again, you're seeing them there. The various properties, Woolwich Road, Scott Street, I think that's the old radio station, and so Young Street. You have Granatang Road, they have a property there, Ladigue, Maran, St. John, Tebaye, St. David, Grandance, and so all of these properties that are now up for sale by the National Insurance Scheme. I hope some Grenadian has enough money to purchase it and it doesn't end up in the hands of somebody who is not Grenadian. So I hope that these properties end up in the hands of Grenadians or consortium of Grenadians, etc. Or maybe the government go buy it back. You never know. They kind of broke now. They can't buy that back. All right. So we were telling you about that last night when the internet went down. But we were also telling you, and I know that you all didn't get that last night. We were telling you all about the investment committee. And we were telling you about things like who comprises the investment committee and some of the duties of the investment committee. Now remember, and I've highlighted a specific part here because this is where the trade union has a problem. Now, this is from the act. This is from the law that has put together the National Insurance Scheme. And this particular section speaks to two other members who appear to the minister to be experienced in finance, accountancy, business administration, industrial relations, or some other related subject, one of whom shall represent employers and the other who shall represent the employees. Right? That's part of, in other words, there shall be, for the purpose of this act, for those of you that are listening on radio, let me read it out. Section 18 of the NIS Act. There shall be, for the purpose of this act, an investment committee which shall consist of 5 members to be appointed by the minister as follows. A. An officer of the Ministry of Finance nominated by the Minister of Finance, which officer shall be appointed chairperson. B. A member of the board other than the director. C. 2 other members who appear to the minister to be experienced in finance, accounting, business administration, industrial relations, or some other related subject, one of whom shall represent employers and the other who shall represent the employees, and D, the director of the National Insurance Scheme. Now, 3 members of the investment committee shall form a quorum, etc., the rest of stuff that's there. The labor union representative, the TUC representative, Senator Andrew Lewis, has been complaining that the trade unions do not have a representative on the investment committee. So in other words, they are in breach of what the law says should be taking place with the investment committee, the composition of the investment committee. So over the years, all during the time of the last NDC, this NNP administration, the last NNP administration, all of that, the trade unions have always had a representative on the investment committee, because the investment committee, they are the ones that decide where the NIS spends the money that they have. Your money and my money. Yeah? They are the ones who decide how that money is spent. So I've pulled that up for you as well so that you could see exactly what I'm speaking about. Right? So investment are the surplus monies that the NIS has, so that these monies are supposed to be invested in such a way that they gain interest, they make money. You're not spending money just for spending money's sake, to say you have 10 million and you're spending 10 million, but if you spend 10 million, you should get back 15, you should get back 20, right? You should get back 18, you should get back 12, but you can't get back exactly 10 million. So what they are doing, the investment committee is supposed to be using that surplus monies, and they say the surplus monies in the fund may be invested in any of the following. A, the acquisition of land, so the NIS could buy properties, and we see they're trying to sell properties, right? So we know the investment committee involved in that. The purchase of construction, the purchase or construction of buildings. Well, some of those places that are being sold are old buildings and so, right? Loans, giving out loans to different people and so, or different organizations. Government bonds and securities. That's the one you have to be concerned about. Because if government is totally controlling who the members of the investment committee are, it means that they're also putting themselves into a position that they can take their sticky fingers and go inside there and take money when they broke. Yeah? Shares and debentures in bodies corporate, that's like shares of if Nawasa shares were up for grabs and different things like that, shares in those things, bank deposits and all of that. Right. So I'm simply saying to you that we ought to be concerned. I think it just passed in the news and people were not fully aware or didn't fully understand what was taking place there. And it is something that we have to be concerned about. It's something that we should be very concerned about, that the investment committee of the NIS is not properly constituted, because remember, is a lot of us money that inside there. Yeah? A lot, all of us who've been working, our monies are inside the NIS. So we need to be concerned and we need to ensure that there is someone looking after our interests in there. And that's usually the union representative who is looking after employees' benefits, which is what is in the NIS in the first place. Yeah? It's workers' benefits are inside there. So the workers should have a representative on how the money that's there is used. Because you may very well find that the loan portfolio of the NIS may be extended over the next few months or year or two. Because every time the government go broke, they go inside there and they take a 20, they take a 30 and that kind of thing. And you end up with a situation where the NIS ends up in financial trouble. So when it comes to the investment committee, you have to keep an eye on what is taking place there. I've shown you, yes, they are property for sale. We know what took place with that the last time. Now you're hearing from the trade unions that, hey, we are not represented. We don't have a representative on the committee. And it's important for them, because they represent us, to have representation on that committee. 440-7377. Time for me to take a little water break. You know that does go every now and again.
They say when you don't have good food, you must take in front. So this is my Kaiso for the Masgra 2023. Make sure you all come out and support me. No politics, just Kaiso. Let's go.
Don't worry, it's not the transformation water.
It's in the world, like Grenada. Its people are so unique, so fabulous. They take politics real serious. You can't tell a man nothing wrong about his party. He'll deal with you so seriously, and from there on, you are his enemy. But as man, I must open my big mouth to lament on some things you know about. So the bada come attack me, don't waste your time on a old jungle like me. Pie in the sky, promises and mama guy. Voters say their expectations were too high. Like the old proverb from way back long, you want to be wrong and strong. Some people bawling with their mouth closed. How they do that, only God knows. Man who could talk, they bawling with their jaws locked. I thought only dummies used to do that. A lady told me she's dying inside slowly, but she don't mind once it's NDC killing.
Yes, I've seen that release. Someone was messaging me to say that our government has put up a notice saying that they're restructuring the government information service. Yeah. That is the excuse for, we're going and fire some of the people in the government information service. But the holistic revamping of the government information service, again, I continue to tell you all, the government believes that they have a public relations problem. What they have is an empathy problem. They don't feel any empathy. They don't feel any sympathy. They don't have feelings, it seems. Yeah? So they can speak to whoever they want. They could talk to a police officer how they feel like. They could tell people as they want, and nothing. They could take $150 from the poorest among us. They can fire and send home people willy-nilly. They don't care.
Seeing more pain, hurt, and suffering. Would you stop for a while and listen to me? Please don't send one more family into poverty. They're crying with their mouths closed. How they do that, only God knows. They're afraid to talk your supporters on the attack when they say is that. A man told me as a strong foot soldier since June 23rd he ain't make $1. When he checked them, hear what they go say. You was wearing a green jersey one Sunday. I'm a strong.
Yeah, because as I told you all, what is taking place now in different sectors? I mean, listen, there's so much to speak about when you speak about the healthcare and what's going on, and some of the stories that I keep hearing coming out of the healthcare system. No one is saying that the healthcare system was perfect before June the 23rd, but we're saying that what is taking place there now. Imagine you've had people going there and had their blood drawn. So you've got to do your blood tests and that sort of thing. So people are going there and having their blood drawn and being told, we're not sure you won't get your results, you know. Yeah, they're actually being told that you're not sure you won't get results because we ain't sure if it have reagents to do the test. So in other words, the people that go through the process of getting stuck, you're taking the blood and everything to do the test. Important tests that people need to make sure that their different levels are okay and that sort of thing. Or to see if they have an infection or what is taking place with them. Just to test their blood and do that. And they're being told, hey, we ain't sure you're going to get results, you know, because we're taking the blood, but we're not sure if the reagents are there to do the test to give you a result. Yeah? You have situations where people are being told we have to put your surgery on hold because we do not have the medication that has to be used to complete your surgery. All of these kind of things are what we're seeing taking place. We have a call online. Good night.
Hey, good night, Chillon. Good night, Talking Points family. How you guys doing?
Hey, great, man. You go right ahead.
All right. Yeah, you know what I would call this NEC? The wait and let us see party. Let's wait and let's see party because that's how they're operating right now. You know, Chillon, I've been listening to one of the biggest mouthpieces for the NEC. And you know, there's a narrative that they want to control who becomes the union leader, what GBN put up on news. They want to dictate all of that. So they may be figuring out, they may be had a little influence, which I doubt in NEC, having some people inside that they was a wrong line mode. They figured they could control the narrative for all the bodies. So GIS, the unions, Grenelec, you know, just name it. They want to make themselves seem important. But let me tell you something. What has happened in this country is that people doesn't forget it. People does not forget. And there's a thing in Tempe. There's a little roundabout by Tempe there, and there's a little wall on your left when you go up Marcel. And there's a statement. When a line to a doctrine, prepare for the backlash. Now the backlash may be good, it may be bad. but it's where you put yourself in the situation. They always say blossom where you grow. But this NDC doing things, and they're doing things willy-nilly. So wait for us to come and talk in some rally, some NDC rally in some country somewhere, and we're traveling left, right, and center. We ain't doing what we're supposed to do in the country. National security in shambles, big and shoot, accident left, right, and center. Prime Minister there in karaoke. Minister of National Security. Nothing wrong with having a social life, but there are things more pressing, right? Then you have an appointee who's an Attorney General, Labor Minister, Legal Affairs Advisor, with one head, one person have all that portfolio. You tell me the Honorable Prime Minister could not have seen that was a bad fit. At least he could have taken up one of those portfolio, but he refused. You know why? Vindictiveness. So he leave her to do his dirty work. So he go look as well as call him baby Jesus. But one day come go they go find out. Folks, have a good night.
All right, my brother. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. You can call and get on to the inside. Let me see what I'm hearing here. Yeah. The Minister of Health. Yeah, that can't be Minister of Health. He had to be the Minister of Health. Yeah, because, wow. Yeah. This individual is letting me know that up to now they can't get their pap smear results. Yeah. Up to now they can't get their pap smear results. And I remember at the last press briefing that they had, the minister was asked that question. Because now 1, 2, or 3 people been telling me about they having problems to get pap smear tests done at the General Hospital. And here's another individual that's saying that they've done theirs how long and they can't get the results. There are people that have been going to the hospital to have their blood drawn this week and are being told that, hey, we're not too sure. We ain't sure we could get your results. We're not sure that you'd be able to get any results because we're not sure if it could be tested. Then why take the person's blood in the first place? Yeah? So I had to take my blood and then they tell me after that I still ain't sure that I go have my blood tested and so. And then again, we back to the stage of lack of medication. We back to that stage again where there is a serious lack of medication at all medical facilities. Imagine people can't even get painkillers, man. Yeah, come on, we back to that stage again. Wait, I know maybe the Minister of Health, Minister of Health, not Health, but whatever. Yeah. Maybe he feel that's how he deals with spiritual healing. Maybe he thinks that he could pray away everybody's problems, medical issues, so that maybe they don't need medicine. Maybe they don't need surgery. Maybe he believes that he could pray everything away. I'm just saying, maybe that is his approach. So he doesn't believe that people need to have medication there or that the hospital needs to have things to take care of people. Because that is the situation that we found ourselves again. So when it comes to the healthcare system, those are the problems I've mentioned earlier. The Royal Grenada Police Force and what is taking place there. Several people leaving. They've made their years of service. They cover it. Some of them pass it by a far mark. So they've opted to leave early. Especially where there's that court judgment now. They ain't waiting for the government to try something against that. So as long as they could get out now and get their money, they're going to take their money and go. And then with the victimization that is taking place within the ranks. Yes, victimization taking place within the ranks. Many people decide, me stay in here and take that. Mean I could take our money and start a business or buy a bus or start doing a taxi service or whatever. Best I do that and get out from this thing. I don't have to go through that. So many of them are opting to take their years of service, take the early retirement and go. They're not waiting until they're 60. And then some of them are saying as well that instead of leaving at 60, because of what is being suggested, that the age raised to 61 and then 62 and 63, all the way up to 65, they may end up having to stay 5 years longer than they wanted to stay in the first instance, so that best they get out now. So many police officers are leaving. Yeah, they are leaving. I personally know of several. Some that have already gone on leave and so on, and some that are in the process of applying. Some have applied and waiting for responses. But that is the situation now in the Royal Grenada Police Force. So you're losing capacity, because remember, the Royal Grenada Police Force is not 10,000 men, you know. So now you're losing capacity. You lose 100 out of, 1,000 something that you have there. You're losing capacity when you lose the people that are there now. And we have a call online. Good night.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good night.
How are you doing?
Quite fine.
Did you explain what is restorative justice already?
No, I have not.
I still waiting on it there.
No worry, I'll do that. Not tonight. I want to research properly.
We need to educate the Grenadian population. There are a lot of things we hear words and we don't understand what the words mean. Not everybody has the ability to go on Google and know what restorative justice means. So we need to hear from a nation perspective. So just explain to us, please.
Okay. Yes, but not tonight.
When you get it done.
Yes.
I have a good night.
No problem. Yeah, I want to do some research in relation to it myself. I have not done that. So I want to find out exactly what it really is and what their perception of it as they're putting it out is. I want to understand totally when they say restorative justice, because I'm hearing the thing of, if a person is from an NNP family or they're supportive of the NNP and they're working within a ministry, if they're on a contract, terminate the contract, get rid of them. If you could find some way to push them in a corner under the public service, or you could find some way to kick them out, bring them before the public service, bring them before the public service. You're hearing the same kind of thing. In fact, the only place I hear that taking place is with the nurses, because they're afraid. You don't have enough nurses already, because you know you're short-staffed at the mental home. You know you're short-staffed at the hospital facility and other facilities. That nurses have to work double back-to-back, all kind of thing. Yeah, because there's nobody to relieve them. So they ain't making that joke with the nurses, and then they might want to, but they ain't taking a chance. Yeah, they might want to, but they ain't taking a chance. That is the sort of thing that is going on. Right? That is the sort of thing that is going on within the service right now. They ain't trying it with teachers. I ain't saying that try that with teachers and so on. Or maybe I just don't hear. But I know within the ministries, they're openly saying it there. Recently, an executive member, I won't say where, but recently an executive member of the NDC, recently elected executive member of the NDC, was out there making the statement, all the NNP had to go. We had to get rid of them from the public service. All of them had to go. So wait, NNPites is not Grenadian too? NNPites ain't paying taxes. NNPites ain't driving on the roads and living here and contributing. NNPites is not your friends and family too? All your friends, all your family supporting the NDC? Nah, man. Some people have to be crazy with this kind of nonsense. But that is what is taking place out there. And you're hearing the sycophants making those noises and saying, yes, fire all of them. Get rid of them. Fire all of them. These people have families. But they still believe that what they have is a PR problem, so revamp GIS. Send home this one, send home that one, hire this one, hire that one. Yeah? Throw out all the equipment, bring new one. Because you want to look pretty when you're taking pictures and you're doing videos. Meanwhile, the person you take the 150 from can't buy the medication. That is the attitude of these people. That's why I continue. They don't have a PR problem. They have an empathy problem. They don't know. They don't have feelings for people. They don't believe that they have to answer to anybody. It's why the Prime Minister could be arrogant and say that all the concerns raised by the new National Party in relation to the data bill, in relation to that those concerns are not valid. That's why the Prime Minister could feel free enough to say that. And the other MPs on his side could feel free enough to stand up and say, well, I heard a pile of nonsense. Basically, the MP for St. John, they just sit down and shut up. Bess, she had used the opportunity to sit down and just shut up, because she obviously did not know what she's speaking about, and she sounded idiotic in her presentation because she did not deal with the substantive matter of the bill itself and the issues that people have been raising about it. So best she did just hush. Yes, the people of St. John's voted for you to go there and represent them. You could have represented them properly by not talking that nonsense and staying quiet in this instance. Absolute nonsense. Just stand up and trying to talk down to people who understand what they're talking about, are making valid points, And instead of that, you just talking nonsense. I mean, I try to understand these people sometime, you know. Yeah, I try to understand them, but it's a difficult thing.
Pockets are empty, the economy has plenty. Poverty is a shame, and that's no gain. The treasury in surplus, but the people in minus. Man a ball and hold them head, cause them account in red. Stuck with minimum wage, we now move to higher stage. Poverty is a crime, so who's doing the prison time? More the people procreate, less dollar circulate. So send down the tongues eye before it's too late. Let the dollar come down to make the man on the ground.
So I'm just following up on some information. I realize every now and again I'm kind of shifting. I'm just trying to follow up on some information in relation to tomorrow's session in relation to the data protection bill that's going to be held at the Grenada Trade Center, because due to the time it's starting, I am still trying to figure if we will be having a program tomorrow night or if that session would go past the time that we usually start, so that I have to cancel the program tomorrow night. I'm just trying to decide how I'm moving forward with that. I definitely keep following the Talking Points page. We will let you know what is going on. And I think we have a caller on the WhatsApp. Let's say good night to the caller on the WhatsApp. Good night. Hello. Caller on the WhatsApp. Good night.
Hi, good night, Sheldon.
Hi, good night. Yes, go right ahead.
I just wanted you to know that I just came from a constituency meeting, and it was very invigorating, very, very uplifting. So to all the people who are saying NNP done, I want to let them know NNP is alive and well.
Yeah, well, we know that.
Yeah, and we are forging the way forward.
All right.
Okay?
Okay, my dear. Which constituency?
St. Andrews Northeast.
All right.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith. We are moving on.
No, we just say forward. For St. Andrews Northeast, we just say keep the Kate.
Keep the Kate. Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
We keep the Kate. Keep the Kate. Keep the Kate.
That's right. That's right.
Keep the Kate. All right, my dear.
Interesting.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so we good here. We good.
All right. Lovely. All right, folks. Yes, we heard from St. Andrew Northeast there. As usual, you know, the various meetings. You know, the New National Party is an organization. So let us stay there and feel we ain't going. Yeah, let me just point out one or two things for you. Again, I had been speaking a little earlier about the data protection bill, and that we have concerns. I personally have concerns with certain aspects of the bill. One of the things is with Section 45, because I believe that Section 45 basically makes these people, you know, like 007. You know, 007 does have like immunity. He has a license to kill. So I believe that Section 45 is similar to that, because it provides protection from criminal or civil proceedings. And Section 45 says, no criminal or civil proceedings shall lie against the commission or against a person acting on behalf or under the direction of the commission for anything done, reported, or said in good faith in the course of the exercise of performance or purported exercise. Purported exercise, discharge or performance of any power, duty, or function of the commission under this act. Right? For the purpose of any law relating to libel or slander, anything said, any information supplied, or any document or thing produced in good faith in the course of an investigation carried out by or on behalf of the commission under this act is privileged. And any report made in good faith by the commission under this act is privileged. I'm saying here that this section of the data protection bill gives powers that nobody should have. Nobody must be free from criminal or civil proceedings. the Governor General of Grenada can be charged with a criminal offense or civil offense. They can be dragged to court, and Governor Generals in the past have been taken to court, while Governor General. So you're telling me that you want to put in place people in the commission. So the commission itself, the 3 or so people that make up the commission, you want to put them, and they can't be charged. So no matter what the act it is, they could say it's in good faith. Well, we believe that we should have do that, right? We believe we should have break down his door. We believe that we should have throw down the filing cabinet, and we believe that we had to break open the computer to get out the hard drive or so. We believe that we had to do that. This act is saying that whatever they do, once they say it is in good faith, that these people cannot be charged. So if they do something that is criminal in nature against the laws of Grenada, they cannot be charged according to this law. If they do something against you and you decide, well, okay, I'm bringing all you to court. According to my deceased grandmother, how the older people used to talk, I go action you. You mean you can't action them? Yeah? All people tell you, hey, from the time you say something, they say, all right, I go action you. They mean they're going to take it to civil court. They're going to go to their lawyer, you'll be written to, and you're going to end up in civil court. Yeah? So these people are taking away your right to action them. And not just the commission, the people that they send on their behalf. So that includes the police officer and anybody else that they decide, and you don't get to choose who it is entering your business place or your home. They are the ones deciding who is acting on their behalf and is going to be entering your home. So they could choose anybody and send that person on their behalf to your home to do whatever they decide that has to be done, and say it is in good faith. And these people this section just needs to be deleted. Not amended, not tweaked. It needs to be deleted. It ought not to be in any law in the state of Grenada that you give anybody privilege, that the prime minister, if he commits a criminal act or so, he should be arrested. If the civil proceedings to bring against a prime minister, bring the civil proceedings against the prime minister, whoever it is. But you giving people protection from criminal, for what reason? It tells me that the intention of the minister who is directing that commission may be sinister. And therefore, they may have to use this to protect themselves after they get the directives of what to do. I believe there is something sinister in relation to this. So people who are saying that, oh no, this is not being used to hush you up and not being used to shut you up, read section 45 of the act. And you would understand what we're speaking about when we're saying there are sections of this thing that need to go. We're not saying the whole act needs to go. Yes, you need to protect people's medical files. Yes, you need to protect people's financial files. Yes, you need to protect people's information, personal information. For instance, if I have designed something and so on, I have my plans at home or whatever it is, I have my patents and so on, that those things shouldn't be stolen and used and so on, right? We understand that. We're also saying that while that is good, you can't try to give us Zebapic at the same time that you're giving us honey. You shouldn't do that. It's one or the other. But it's not even Zebapic they gain you. It's not even Zebapic they gain you. No, Zebapic at least Zebapic clean your system and them kind of thing. It's pure poison that they're trying to push honey and shove poison in between it. So in my view, section 45 needs to go. And if they want to say that my belief that section 45 needs to go is not genuine, then something mentally wrong with them. They have a mental issue and they need to go and check it. Go by Steele's Auto, go and wait on the bridge. We go send somebody to pick you up. Yeah. Go over by Steele's Auto in River Road and stay on the bridge there. We go send somebody. Just walk with overnight clothes. We go send somebody over to meet you. Because if you believe that this should be part of any law in Grenada, we think that you need to be on certain medication at a certain location and we go help you get there. Just make sure you have overnight clothes and go and stay on the bridge over by Steele's Auto, okay? You also have, let me give another bit here. This section, and I've specifically highlighted the particular part of this section that I have issues with. Because, again, it's not just a case that you're against the entire document. You're stating what your problems with specific parts of the document are. Is either you say, hey, this is not the case, or you say, yes, this is the case. We need to look at it. We need to move it. We need to change it. We need to change the wording. Or maybe you're misunderstanding. And if you're misinterpreting, maybe a judge or somebody else might misinterpret. So therefore, we need to clarify what that is. Yeah? So, they're speaking in this section, that's section 20, about disclosure of personal data. Right? But when they do that and they have section A, the data subject consented to the disclosure, B, the disclosure, one is necessary for the purpose of preventing or detecting a crime or for the purpose of investigation, or two, was required or authorized by or under any enactment or by any order of a court. C, the data user acted in the reasonable belief that there was a lawful right to disclose the personal data to the other person. D, the data user acted in reasonable belief that the data user would have had consented to the data subject if the data subject had known of disclosing of the personal data. But you see, my problem is E. It's saying that even though disclosing personal data is wrong, E is saying the disclosure is deemed by the minister to be justified as being in the public interest in the circumstances. So it's saying you have an act that says that to disclose your financial information or your medical information is wrong. You have an act that's saying that, but yet still you put in a section where the minister could decide that in this instance that is not wrong. So somebody could go take your medical information and put it out and still get away, because the minister could come afterwards and say, hey, yeah, in this circumstance, I believe that information should be out. So that is not a problem. Yeah? Why should the minister be the one that makes that decision? Why couldn't you have a board or even the commission or another committee or something, a subcommittee that makes that decision as to whether or not a crime has been committed? In the same way that you have crimes in Grenada and it goes to the DPP. If something happens, a file is sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions, and the Director of Public Prosecutions looks at that file and he says, yes, there's enough information for this to charge this person, or no, there's nothing here to charge this individual. So that's okay when it comes to criminal matters. But when it comes to the law under this thing, you give that responsibility to the minister, or you're sick, or you're mental, or you're crazy. And then coming to try and tell people like me that my concerns don't matter. Claudette Joseph, shut up. Really and truly, you shouldn't even bother to go in the Senate and a fake sick daddy. Because you're talking dotishness, and we know where you're coming and say already that concerns aren't genuine. You're telling me that this is not a genuine concern. You telling me that this is not a genuine concern? That the minister, if a crime is committed, if something happens, no matter what the crime is, a file is sent to the DPP. The police could have you, but they send a file to the DPP. The DPP says, yes, charge the person, don't charge them. They make that decision in relation to it. Right? So you send a file to the DPP. In this case, the minister make and then they're trying to tell you that, no, what you're saying, oh, you're not talking the truth, and you don't know what you're talking about, and that kind of thing. Isn't it? Yeah, that's what they're trying to tell us. We don't know what we're talking about. Right? They have that section 20. Right? They have this section which deals with, they have this section which deals with the search. Now, yeah, police officers can search any property in Grenada. That is a fact. Police officers, yes, you have a right to property. You have a right to own your property unhindered. But the Constitution makes provisions for if a crime is being committed, or it is believed that a crime is committed, that people could enter your property. The police can enter your property. The police, with a warrant, can enter your property. And there are circumstances of if a crime For instance, if they believe a murder is taking place or so, they don't even need a warrant. They could just run in. All right? If they believe a crime is taking place at that point in time, they could run in, right, without a warrant, right? But what I have a concern about under this, what I have a concern about under this is that they're saying here that the warrant allows the officer, right? And they're not only speaking about a police officer here, they're speaking about anybody appointed by the commission, right? So they could go in town and take up anybody and just say, well, you're working with the commission today, come and let me go and search here, right? They didn't specify what are the qualifications of these persons, anything. They just say a person authorized by the commission. A, to search the premises, okay. B, to enter the premises. B, to search the premises. C, to inspect, examine, operate, and test any equipment found on the premises and which is used or intended to be used for the processing of personal data. In other words, your computers, your mobile phones, all your your hard drives, etc. That is what this says. I hear some people say, no, there is no way about. This is what it says. They ain't read the bill. This section 33 in case they need to know. D, to inspect and seize any documents or other material found on the premises and which may constitute evidence of the commission of the offense. Right? So they could seize anything on your property. Right? Your cameras, your whatever. E, to require any person, and this is the main part I have a problem with. E, to require any person on the premises to provide an explanation of any document or other material found on the premises. Hello? If all you pass this, and all you go in anybody place, the person does not, even though all you put in this in law, the person does not have to answer you. They can stay silent and request their attorney. Yeah? The lawyer. A woman lawyer. They don't have to answer you. And you cannot put it in a law that they have to answer you because the Constitution guarantees the right against self-incrimination, especially in criminal matters. And what you're doing here is creating a criminal matter. And the Constitution, I'm trying to remember the exact section right now, it's just slipping me. But the Constitution speaks to your right against self-incrimination. So you cannot put in law something that is going against the Constitution of Grenada, or the entire law can be considered invalid. And that's the direction all you're heading. So E, to require any person on the premises to provide an explanation. And they say any person. So not just the subject. They may come and they saying, well, okay, I'm coming by John Joseph. But they asking John Joseph's wife what are doing there. They're asking John Joseph children what are doing there. His 76-year-old grandmother might be there in the house and they're asking her too. His brother might have come and visit him from another village and Lyman. And they could ask, according to this law, they could ask the brother to answer as to why his brother has that computer there with that information on it. Because it says to require any person. They didn't give an age range. They didn't give a definition of who these people are. They just say any person that's found on the premises. And F, to require any person on the premises to provide other information as may be reasonably be required to determine whether the data user has committed the offense. So in other words, I supposed to give you information to prove that I commit a criminal offense. Who I really feel stupid? Who I really feel dotish? And you telling me that this should not be of concern to me? That I'm supposed to trust you all? Imagine, Claudette's supposed to be a lawyer. And she's saying that it's okay to pass a law where a person has to incriminate themselves. Yeah? So these are just some of the areas that I've pointed out that are of concern. There are other areas as well, but these are just some of the areas of concern that not just I have been talking about, not just the New National Party has been speaking about. There are NGOs that have been writing and talking to different people inside and outside of the region about this particular act. I'm yet to hear from the Grenada Media Association. The Media Association, very quiet. It was very noisy when it came to electronic crimes and so on. But all very quiet right now. Yeah? Media Association all quiet, so all get those are shut up. Because I mean, it's like anything could be done to the media right now. It seems so. Because the Prime Minister and his ministers bluntly refusing to have press conferences with you all, and you all ain't kicking up a storm about it. You all haven't written a letter of protest. You all haven't said that, look, you're seeking information from government and you're not getting it. You all just lay back and, I mean, people like Leslie Pierre must be turning in the grave. Yeah, seriously. To realize that this is what the media, well, quote unquote media, has become in Grenada. That you all just find, well, that is okay. Yeah? And some right now have become cheerleaders on behalf of the government. So when a minister ready to go and juke a hole up in her peel with a piece of stick, they sending journalists to go and cover that. No research and thing, just a story come up here. Well, you doing that? That's the kind of thing that has taken place now that needs to be addressed. All right? Folks, it is just after 10 on the Isle of Spice, and it is time for us to get out of here. Indeed, it's been wonderful being here with you tonight. I will be giving more information. As I said, I am I'm trying my very best to confirm how I'm going to go about tomorrow evening. Definitely, we will be broadcasting the session tomorrow out of the Trade Center on the Data Protection Bill. Definitely, that will be broadcast. As to the Talking Points program, I'll have to get some more information in the morning. I will put it up. Check the Talking Points Facebook page during the day tomorrow, and we'll confirm if indeed we're having a program or if the program would be coming on just a little later. And so we're still having a program tomorrow night, but just a little later we'll be confirming, because I'm not too sure how long that session at the Trade Center is going to go for. So I'll be confirming all of that information with you all during the morning, tomorrow morning, via the Talking Points Facebook page. All right, I have to really create a WhatsApp group for, well, outside of my personal WhatsApp broadcast list, I have to create a WhatsApp Talking Points WhatsApp group. So those of you who want to be part of that group, send your numbers over to the Talking Points WhatsApp 4407377. Just say add me. All right, so send 4407377. Just send a WhatsApp over to there saying add me, and I'll create a specific WhatsApp group using that number that we can then use to contact all of you and let you all know what is taking place when we have situations like this. All right, so my name is Sheldon Scott. I am heading out of here, and everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Love each and every one of you. I am out. Until tomorrow, have a good and blessed night.
Let the dollar come down to make the man on the ground. Him not screw face, him now and no friend. Let the dollar come down to the unfortunate one. To beg no one, he does stretch no hands. Pockets are empty, the economy has plenty. Poverty is a shame and that's no game. The treasury in surplus, but the people in minus. Man a ball and hold them head cause them are counting red. Stuck with minimum wage, we now move to higher stage. Poverty is a crime, so who's doing the prison time? More the people procreate, less dollar circulate. So send down the tongues high before it's too late. Dollar comes down to make the man on the ground. Him not screw face, him now and no friend. Let the dollar come down to the unfortunate one. To beg no one, him not stretch. So them say we were born poor, should live poor, and die poor. Nothing more. While the rich get rich, a tall fence, pitbull and cameras. Desperate man still looks fi climb over. The system never truly cater for them in that strata. Though some days you may hand them $1. Check their standard of living, that's the real thing. Sustainability is the key. So let the dollar come down to make the man on the ground. Him not screw face, him now and no friend. Let the dollar come down to the